Hello, you're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting late edition. Relationship between the Gulf region and India dates back to centuries. From civilizational links, age-old maritime trade and vibrant people-to-people contacts, India UAE relation now closely focuses on security and counter-terrorism issues. The honour accorded to Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who will be the chief guest at this Republic Day celebrations, once again highlights not just the strength and importance of the bilateral relationship, but also the new track that these ties have taken, especially since India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited UAE in 2015, followed by Sheikh Mohammed's trip to India last year. India and the UAE will sign an agreement sealing a comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. We get to more in this report. Take a look.
UAE soldiers rehearsing for the Republic Day parade. 144 soldiers from the UAE will be marching down the Rajpath along with the military band on the 68th Republic Day parade. The Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed of Abu Dhabi will be the chief guest. He is the only second leader from the Gulf region to be the chief guest at the Republic Day parade after the late King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia in 2006.
We are glad to participate in this occasion. It's a great occasion for the Indian nation, and we are happy in participating. And also we are happy that our Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Deputy Supreme Commander of Armed Forces, is a chief guest at this great ceremonial day.
The presence of the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi is being seen as an important step to strengthen ties with the Gulf country, where there is a substantial population of Indian expatriates.
We are honored for His Highness to be chosen as a chief guest on India's Republic Day. It is a great honor, and His Highness accepted the invitation.
Meanwhile, UAE has pledged total support to India in combating terrorism as it looks towards elevating bilateral defense and security ties and inking a strategic cooperation agreement. 16 agreements will be signed when Prime Minister Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi will meet at Delhi's Hyderabad house.
Terrorism is a threat to all human beings, and we as a nation should be responsible toward this and willing to be part of any international effort to counter terrorism. And from our experience and the research that we did, we found out that you can't counter terrorism unless you go to the root of terrorism, which is extremism.
This is the second visit of the Crown Prince in a span of less than a year. The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi is also the Deputy Supreme Commander of UAE Armed Forces. Ever since the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to UAE in August 2015, the first by any Indian Prime Minister in 34 years, the two countries have been working on strengthening their bilateral relationship. Since taking office in May 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has visited several countries in the Gulf, and the UAE was the first in August 2015. UAE is home to Indian expatriate community of more than 2.6 million. There is an estimated $8 billion of UAE investment in India. UAE is also the 10th biggest investor in India in terms of FDI. The visit of the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi comes at a time when India and UAE held their first strategic dialogue. The dialogue aims at increasing cooperation in fields such as defense and security. The closeness also comes at a time when both the countries have been impacted by terror from a certain country in the region. Remember, 5 UAE diplomats were killed in Kandahar in a terror attack in which elements were linked to Pakistan. The visit of the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi will only strengthen the ties between both the countries. With camera person Lakshmi, Siddhant Sibal, DD News, New Delhi.
Briefing reporters about the agenda of Crown Prince of UAE in New Delhi, Secretary in the MEA, Amar Sinha, said that relationship with UAE will be elevated to the strategic partnership. MOU on defense, joint manufacturing, energy sector will be signed.
I also mentioned that there would be an MOU on NIIF and investment authorities. There would be most probably an agreement on strategic partnership in oil sector. Then we will have an MOU in defense, particularly focused on joint manufacturing, purchase of equipment. We, of course, are looking for markets as our defense industry expands, but importantly, UAE is also looking for dependable partners. partners who can actually provide them equipment without conditionalities and also supply it when they need it the most. So that reliability and stability of the partnership is something that they are looking for in India, and we also feel that UAE will remain a very, very critical partner for us in the future.
All right, to talk more about the scope of enhancing the ties between the two nations, we have with us two guests joining us on Late Edition. We have Mr. Shashank, he's former Foreign Secretary. Also, we have with us Dr. Zakir Hussain, he's a research fellow at ICWA. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us on Late Edition. Mr. Shashank, first, I will ask you the timing. Let's start with the timing of the visit of the Crown Prince to India, in the sense that we've seen there the relationship between the Gulf region and India dates back to centuries, in the sense we talk of civilizational links, age-old maritime trade. But now, when we talk of taking the relationship to the next strategic level, is the time and the environment conducive?
You're absolutely right. There is this old Indus Valley civilizational time onwards. There have been very close links between the Gulf countries and India. There were also elements of instability lately in West Asia, and we have seen that Iraq, Syria, Yemen, they have suffered instability. There is also the question of the so-called Daesh group, which is trying to take all these countries into a different direction. So we find that UAE is fully committed to bring about stability
in the region.
And they are also mindful of what is a similar thing going on in South Asia, how terrorism affecting and hurting the societies, and how India is working very hard to counter terrorism. And so UAE and India are really the very fit partners now. And ever since our Prime Minister's visit to UAE and also other Gulf countries for the last 2 years, I think it's a very unique relationship which is being developed between our two countries. And we feel that the global comprehensive partnership that we are now trying to develop, that will be very important, because it is not just a question of the markets being obtained, investments to be obtained from UAE, or Indian manpower being used in the UAE, more than 2.5 million. But I think it is also a question of defense cooperation in the field of counterterrorism, intelligence sharing, and also new renewable energy sources, solar energy, etc.
Right. Dr. Hussain, I would want you to take this thought forward. He says it's security and trade. More than that, what are the other factors, added to what Mr. Shashank said, that bind the two countries together?
Look, our relation is maturing in a new direction, which is going to herald a new relation and new engagement between the two countries. That is, it is changing from transactional to strategic one. That it is a major development in the relation of the two countries, because both are understanding the common potentials as well as common threats. In that, they are trying to develop a common synergy to tackle as well as exploit the potential. Now, in terms of potential, that they are looking India as an emerging nation, the largest growing economy in the region. And while UAE is also interested to maintain its largest growing economy in the region. So they are coming together, while on the same time, the common challenges are existing in South Asia as well as Gulf and Middle East, and they feel that they cannot be, these two regions cannot be separated from each other. They are linked. So this has brought the UAE and other Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, to cooperate India on counter-terrorism measures. So what I feel that from transactional to strategic relation has taken our relation to a new height of engagements, and the signing of comprehensive strategic agreement, and on 20th the first strategic dialogue which has taken place in New Delhi has been acknowledged by the visiting Minister of State Anwar Gargash. Said that Prime Minister Modi has invested a lot of capital in terms of diplomatic, in terms of endeavor to bring the closer, and this is fructifying in this manner. So various areas of new cooperation is emerging between the two nations, besides trade, energy, migration, that is space cooperation, technological cooperation, education, electronics, is cyber security, finance, and moreover the scope of our trade has already reached to its saturation. That is $50 billion, third largest trading partner is of is UAE.
Both the
Now
countries are also aiming to take it to $100 billion by
$100 billion
yes.
by 2020. But the scope for investment is huge because UAE has a large sovereign wealth fund, and during his last year's visit, he promised, the Crown Prince promised to invest $75 billion.
Right.
Now here we see that what mechanism they are taking place here, that this can be fructifying in terms of investing in Indian infrastructure, core technological areas. So what we find that if we increase our investment engagements, then our relation will further become intimate, and it will be very positive in the sense that two economies are coming closer and developing a synergy between the two.
So we'll talk about it more, but at present we're heading for a short commercial break. You're watching Late Edition tonight, and we're discussing India UAE relationship. Stay with us.
भाग भाग, अरे भाग! ओहो, चप्पल नहीं पहनी पकड़ा गया ना? देखा आपने लापरवाही का नतीजा है। ऐसे ही पोलियो की खुराक न लेने से पोलियो आपके बच्चे को पकड़ सकता है। भारत पोलियो मुक्त है, पर दुनिया नहीं। ये वायरस दोबारा देश के अंदर प्रवेश कर सकता है। इसलिए जन्म से लेकर के 5 साल तक हर बार अपने बच्चे को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाइए।
राष्ट्रीय पोलियो चक्र 29 जनवरी 2017।
2 बूंद हर बार, जीत रहे बरकरार।
2 महीने का हो गया, ख्याल रखो अपना।
नाम सोचा?
सोचना क्या है, राजा बेटा है तो नाम भी राजा ही होगा। राजा।
और अगर बेटी हुई तो?
बिल्कुल नहीं, ना कट जाएगी पूरे खानदान में। भैया को भी बेटा ही हुआ है, खानदान में इज्जत रखनी है। बेटी हुई तो देख लूंगा क्या करना है।
ऐसी ही सोच से शुरुआत होती है कन्या भ्रूण हत्या की। ये सोच भी हत्या के समान है। अपराधी कड़ी से कड़ी सजा के हकदार हैं।
बेटे की आश में बेटियों को बलि मत चढ़ाएं। भारत की आन बान शान में हमारी बेटियों का भी योगदान है।
मैं ये नहीं पूछूंगा कि आप शौच के लिए कहां गए। मैं ये भी नहीं पूछूंगा कि अगर आप खुले में शौच के लिए गए तो क्या आपने अपने बच्चे की जान को खतरे में डाला? क्या आपके गांव की बच्चियों को खुले में शौच करते हुए किसी ने बुरी नजर से देखा? आप खुद समझदार हैं, सक्षम हैं। आप ये तो जानते ही होंगे कि हमारे देश में 70,000 से ज्यादा गांवों के लोगों ने खुले में शौच की प्रथा को खत्म कर दिया है। गांव के बच्चे, महिला, पुरुष सब इस लक्ष्य में जुटे। निगरानी समितियां बनी जिन्होंने खुले में शौच कर रहे लोगों को समझाया, शौचालय बनाया, उनका इस्तेमाल करना सिखाया। क्या आपका गांव भी बनेगा खुले में शौच से मुक्त? आइए स्वच्छ भारत अभियान से जुड़िए। अब नहीं तो कब?
2 हफ्ते से ज्यादा अगर आपको खांसी रहा है तो टीबी हो सकता है। टीबी? हाँ, तुरंत डॉक्टर से मिलिए और बलगम की जांच कराइए। ठीक है। टीबी किसी को भी हो सकता है। अगर हो गया तो बिना भूले पूरा कोर्स करिए और फिट हो जाइए। नहीं किया तो इसका इलाज बहुत मुश्किल है। समझ गए भाई साहब आप? आइए। 2 हफ्ते से ज्यादा खांसी, तुरंत डॉक्टर से मिलिए और बलगम की जांच कराइए। टीबी हारेगा, देश जीतेगा।
Hello, you're watching Late Edition, and I'm Preeti. Up next, we're talking about India-UAE relationship. Today, we are joined in by 2 guests, Mr. Shashank and Dr. Zakir Hussain. Mr. Shashank, when we talk of the different aspects and the factors that bind the two countries, we've seen that the joint statement which was issued in 2015 when the Indian Prime Minister visited UAE, I'll quote the joint statement. It says, it condemns the efforts by states to use religion to justify, support and sponsor terrorism against countries. Now, UAE is a member of OIC and the GCC. How strongly is it poised when we talk of it back? We saw UAE did back India after the Uri attack, after the Pathankot attack, and we've seen how in the Kandahar attack 5 UAE diplomats had been killed. So terrorism indeed is an issue strong enough to bind the two countries, bring the two countries together. But then when we talk of cooperation which emanates from UAE, how strongly is it poised to take forward India's concerns about terrorism emanating from the Pakistani soil?
You know, you have rightly pointed out that in Afghanistan, 5 UAE diplomats, they were killed, and they were killed by people who had their base in Pakistan. So UAE knows that being an Islamic country is no guarantee that their people will not get killed in the crossfire or whatever terrorism is being promoted in South Asia. Similarly, in the Gulf countries also, they have seen that efforts are made to recruit their nationals to join various Islamic groups like Daesh. So therefore, there is a interest, and they have seen that in India, unlike many other countries, very few people have been indoctrinated by Daesh. And by and large, people in India are all against terrorism, and India is taking very strong measures internationally, regionally, and bilaterally, everywhere. So therefore, it's a very good partnership, and UAE and India, I think if we move in this direction, so as Dr. Zakir Hussain said, that future can be very, very close cooperation on this issue, that among the Gulf countries, UAE has seen that it needs stability, it needs people, various communities within UAE living in a friendly and cooperative endeavor. Similarly, in India also, we want all our communities to live peacefully, and we have also promoted South Asian cooperation, infrastructure development, etc. So many means that this Asia should become an era of technology-driven economic development, and UAE and India can be very good partners in that area, as UAE has already said that they would like to invest $75 billion in India. So I think then that can be a technology-driven, joint defense production-driven partnership between our two countries, where we all know that our people have to live peacefully with each other.
All right, Dr. Hussain, would you say that coming together of UAE and India is somewhere undermining Pakistani diplomacy vis-a-vis UAE?
Yes, of course, we can say this. That till now, what the famous proverb was that is prevailing in the Gulf and other regions, that Pakistan is our brother and India is a friend. And I see that the growing relation between two countries are lessening the role of Pakistan. And other that, Pakistan has also failed on two grounds, which has given a shock to the Gulf countries. Number one, it failed to ensure their security. Number second, that it failed to prevent terrorism from its soil as well as there too. So whatever we find that one or two, three Pakistani terrorists have always been found on the land of these countries. So these two elements have, and other that is economic emerging Indian economy and its power in terms of defense, in terms of capacity to combat these challenges, are bringing these countries, and UAE is the key to enter the Gulf countries, and we have already opened the gate by signing several agreements and inviting this Crown Prince to our Republic Day parade. Followed earlier, it was done with in 2006 with King Abdullah. So what we find that Pakistan will face a very tough,
harrowing time.
How to convince these countries not to go with India? Because if we talk about UAE, it is a collection of 7 emirates, formed in 1971, and Abu Dhabi is the richest one, but they want to emerge as a economic hub, as a innovation hub, as a financial hub, as a plural society hub. For this, they need good, big emerging economies, including India. So I find that Pakistan has very less to offer to these countries, while India has enormous potential to offer as well as get from them. So I find that Pakistan has a very tough time diplomatically to engage with these countries.
All right, up next we are heading for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk of the scope of enhancing the energy ties between the two countries. Keep watching Late Edition.
मुझे मिला
मुझे भी मिला
और मुझे भी।
अल्पसंख्यक कार्य मंत्रालय की इस योजना में छोटे कारोबारियों के लिए है टर्म लोन यानी मियादी कर्ज, जिसमें 10 लाख तक की मदद का प्रावधान है। एनजीओ से जुड़ी अल्पसंख्यक महिलाओं के लिए है माइक्रो फाइनेंस स्कीम यानी लघु वित्त योजना, जिसमें है 50,000 तक का कर्ज। इसके अलावा माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटी के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए है एजुकेशन लोन स्कीम, जिसमें है प्रोफेशनल और टेक्निकल एजुकेशन के लिए बहुत ही कम ब्याज दरों पर लोन। तो आप भी NMDFC की कर्ज स्कीम से लाभ उठाएं।
हुनर को हौसला।
मम्मी आपके पास आधार है और पापा के पास भी, तो फिर मेरे पास क्यों नहीं?
क्योंकि तुम अभी बहुत छोटे हो।
टीचर कह रही थी मेरा भी आधार होना चाहिए और चुटकी का भी।
जी हाँ,
नवजात शिशु का भी आधार बन सकता है। इसके लिए आधार केंद्र अथवा स्कूल या फिर आंगनवाड़ी में लगने वाले शिविर में जाएं। ये पूरी तरह से निशुल्क है।
मेरे बच्चे की सही शुरुआत, मेरा आधार मेरी पहचान।
हेलो,
लड़की है मामा जी।
क्या खबर पक्की है?
हाँ जी।
तू क्लिनिक में रुक, समझ गया?
चलो ठीक है।
वो लड़की है जी।
महेश सोच क्या रहा है? बहू को तैयार कर जल्दी।
अरे जल्दी कर, डॉक्टर अपने अरुण मामा जी की पहचान क्या है?
रजनी तैयार हो जाओ, क्लिनिक जाना है।
ऐसी ही सोच से शुरुआत होती है कन्या भ्रूण हत्या की। ये सोच भी हत्या के समान है। अपराधी कड़ी से कड़ी सजा के हकदार हैं।
बेटे की आंख में बेटियों को बलि मत चढ़ाना। भारत की आन बान शान में हमारी बेटियों का योगदान है।
Your business needs a reliable and cost-efficient delivery solution. Introducing Express Parcel and Business Parcel. Your customer selects the product. Our pickup service collects it from you and provides fast, secure and economical delivery at your customer's doorstep. We also collect cash from them and offer you fast cash remittance service. Now enjoy the growth and success of your business with India Post Parcel Services. Keep your business ahead.
भाग भाग, अरे भाग। ओहो, चप्पल नहीं पहनी पकड़ा गया ना। देखा आपने लापरवाही का नतीजा है। ऐसे ही पोलियो की खुराक न लेने से पोलियो आपके बच्चे को पकड़ सकता है। भारत पोलियो मुक्त है पर दुनिया नहीं। ये वायरस दोबारा देश के अंदर प्रवेश कर सकता है। इसलिए जन्म से लेकर के 5 साल तक हर बार अपने बच्चे को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाइए।
राष्ट्रीय पोलियो चक्र 29 जनवरी 2017।
2 बूंद हर बार, जीत रहे बरकरार।
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Late Edition. Mr. Shashank, we'll talk of the scope of the energy ties between the two countries. How far do you see this visit of the Crown Prince to India give a boost to the energy ties between the two nations? Added to that, oil storage talks are also expected to be taken up.
Yes, definitely. UAE is one of the largest suppliers of oil to India. And since India wants to increase their strategic reserves, so I think UAE partnership would be very important in this. And at a time when the oil prices are unstable, I think it is important that India increases the strategic reserve, and this will be helpful to both the countries. Then also we have to keep in mind that UAE also wants to develop itself as a long-term energy partner with India. So that means that solar energy or other renewable energy sources, there would be technical cooperation between our two countries, and the financial investments can also come very easily for that. Finally, we also see that the UAE would be a very good hub for India to export its stuff to Gulf countries, to Middle East countries, and to South Asia, other countries in South Asia, because they have very efficient port facilities. So therefore, that will be also helpful for the refined products of energy in the area.
Right. Dr. Hussain, comprehensive strategic partnership agreement is expected to be taken up during Crown Prince's visit. As many as 16 MOUs are expected to be signed. What are the areas that you think would be covered in this agreement? Added to that, we'll also let's talk about the joint cooperation in the defense sector.
Look, when we talk about comprehensive strategic partnership, it means we are expanding the area of cooperation in new areas. In that, we find that defense, technology, manpower, energy, cybersecurity, information technology, informatics, electronics, all huge health, pharmaceuticals, these are coming, gamut of areas are coming, which India has expertise, and UAE want to establish these centers in their countries, in its country, and want to develop as an innovation center. So this is bringing UAE to engage India at a wider and larger scale. So and on the other hand, that we find that defense is also one of the attractive factors which has brought UAE here. You know that UAE is among the top 10 oil arms importing country in the world. But what is happening there, their personals are not able to manage those arms which are Western and which are highly sophisticated.
So there's talk of joint manufacturing.
Joint manufacturing here, and they want to start with small arms, then sophisticated arms, Tyrian vehicles, and various other desert trainings and all these things which are common to India, to both the countries. So they want to learn from India about mountain, terrains, deserts, to equip their forces to fight against within the country and outside the country. And by looking the nature of India, that India has not committed historically not committed any military aggression in any country. So they are also secured and confident that engagement with India in defense sector will not provoke Indians to come here and occupy like others. So these are the historical faith which are bringing the two countries to join in those areas where they are expecting Indian expertise. So what I feel that this visit is going to seal a new relation between the two countries, taking to the new height of engagements where the common interests and common challenges are important to both the countries to join and develop a synergy and combat it.
All right, so on this note of faith and confidence, we'll end this discussion here. Thank you so much, Mr. Shashank, for joining us this evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Hussain, for sharing in your insights. So that was this edition of Late Edition this evening, wherein we talked of the scope between India and UAE and how both the nations are establishing themselves as harbingers of change, peace and prosperity. So that's it. I'll take your leave. Bye-bye.